Hello, this is Karen with Karen's Cards and More, and I'm really excited to share with you this fun fold today. It features the Hues of Happiness suite, and this is one of those sets that the designer series paper can really do all your work for you in creating a beautiful card. And so I wanted to show off how beautiful this paper is and how it's very easy to make a beautiful card. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I upload a new video. If you like the card you see, give me a thumbs up. And so let's just jump into it and see how to make this fun fold. Let me show you how this works. It opens up, it's like a gatefold, and it opens up like that. And it's called a crossover gatefold because these two panels cross over like that. Really fun, really easy. But gives your card some extra pizzazz. So let's talk about what we're going to use to make this card. The stamp and coordinating die set that we're going to use is Happiness Abounds is the stamp set, and the die set is called Blossoming Happiness Dies. And if you order the suite, when it comes available, you get the stamp set, the die set, you get the designer series paper, and you get these glossy dot assortment gems. So it's a great value for your money, and the paper just is absolutely beautiful. So, and I love this scripty writing. I love the fanciness of it. This has a lot of different ways. Best wishes, happy birthday, congratulations, thanks. A lot you can do with this. So to start, our card base is basic black. And this is 11 by 4 1/4, and we're going to need to do some scoring together on that. And then you're going to need, I'm using 2 pieces of Pool Party that are 5 1/4 by 2. And then I have 2 pieces of the designer series paper, and these are 1 3/4 by 5 or 5 by 1 3/4. And then you're going to need another piece of Pool Party, and this is 3/4 inch by 3 1/2. And then I have a piece of basic white that is 1/2 by 3 1/4. So those are going to layer together. Okay. And then there's some die cutting that we'll do, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So let's start with our basic black card base. And I'm going to bring in my trimmer so we can do some scoring. I do my scoring with my trimmer. And to make the gatefold from each end, let me go this way so I can make sure it's in the camera and you can see what I'm doing. We want to go at, I'm going to just flip this over. We want to go at 2 3/4. Just line it up on 2 3/4. And the lighter of the 2 blades, let me bring those up and show you if you're not familiar with our score trimmer. That's the word I'm thinking for. There's a dark blade, which is your cutting blade, and then you have the lighter blade, which is your scoring blade. So I got this on 2 3/4, and I'm just going to score that. Then I'm just going to flip the piece around and do 2 3/4 from the other end. And this is what's going to give us our gatefold. So 2 3/4 from each end along the long side. And that's really all there is to the scoring. Just like that, we've got the scoring done. So the next thing that we're going to do, one other thing that you're going to need that I forgot to mention, is you're going to need a piece of basic white for the inside. 4 by 5 1/4 is going to be our inside piece. So we can start with our stamping. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And I'm going to be using my foam mat. And I use the one from my Stamparatus. This goes in the Stamparatus for when you're using the polymer stamps, and I just pull it out and use it when I'm doing stamping with the polymer stamps. So the first thing I want to do, let me show you the card on the inside so you can see what we're doing. We're going to stamp the sentiment, And then we're going to put some flowers down in the corners. And this is Pool Party and Fresh Freesia, which matches, here's the Fresh Freesia and here's the Pool Party. So in order to incorporate those on the inside, we're going to stamp some flowers, and we're going to put wishing you all the happiness you can imagine, because this is a birthday card. So let's start by putting our greeting in the middle. And I'm just using black memento for this. And I have my stamp on my block, and I'm just going to ink this up. And I'm just going to try to center this in the middle. Try to get my paper straight, and I'm just going to center this. And I'm just going to put that down. And I always hold it for just a second, just to give the ink time to transfer. Okay. And then we're going to come in with we're going to do our flowers. So we're going to use our Pool Party and our Fresh Freesia. So let me just open these up. And the stamp set has these two little flower bunches. And so that's what we're going to use. So I'm just going to come into the Pool Party. I'm going to ink this up. And I'm just going to kind of tilt it a little. I want the flower to be tilted because I'm going to tilt the other one up against it. So I'm just going to stamp that down. And then I'm going to ink it up again. And I'm just going to kind of tilt it on the other bottom corner. And stamp that down. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the Fresh Freesia, and I'm just going to do the same thing, just tilting in the opposite direction from my Pool Party. Just like that. And this is just to tie the colors from the front into the inside of the card. And you can tilt this as much as you want. There we go. So the inside of our card is finished, and I'm going to set that aside. Go ahead and close these up. And the only other stamping that there is our little greeting piece, our little white piece that we had, our little strip, and that's where we're going to do our happy birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and use black memento for this. I'm going to ink this up. And I'm just going to line this up, try to get it straight. And put that down. Just like that. And all our stamping's done. Okay. So let's go ahead and start assembling the card. The fun part, right? So the first thing we want to do is we're going to fold the pieces that we scored on the card base. And I'm just using my bone folder to give those a good crease to hold them shut. And I'm going to do both ends. And they're going to meet in the middle. That's the gatefold portion of the card, okay? Just like that. And then we're ready to come in with our Pool Party pieces. So we're going to assemble. I'm just bringing in my liquid glue, and I'm going to put liquid glue on the back of my Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to mat this on my Pool Party. Just like that, and press it down. I'm going to do both of them. Getting it even on both sides and across the top and the bottom. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead, while we're into the gluing, I'm going to go ahead and mount our sentiment on our piece of Pool Party. Again, we're just matting that on there. And I do like using liquid glue. The Stampin' Seal is really easy. You just put it on the back and it's really easy. But the liquid glue, if you don't get it on there perfectly straight, you don't like the placement, you just have that little wiggle room. And so that's why you'll see me a lot of times use the liquid glue, because I love the ability to move things around. So let's go ahead and put our inside piece on the inside of our card. And again, I'm going to just put some liquid glue on the back of this. And I always try to make sure I go along the edges to get them glued down really well. And this is just going to come in here. We're just going to center this in here, just like this. And give it a press down. Now, the next part, you have a little bit of creativity with this next part, because you can either choose to open it one way or the other, and that's where you got to make a choice. So I can put these panels on so that the left opens this way, depending on where I put this piece, and the bottom right, so it opens like this. Or you can switch them so that the right piece opens first and then the left, just depending on which you prefer. I did mine left open and then the right. You could easily switch it. It's all in what you like better. And then you just want to look at your designer series paper a little bit to see if there's any kind of direction to your pattern. This one, there's not a whole lot of direction to, but if there's a flower, there is one flower that has a stem. You can see the bottom of the stem here. That's the same flower. So because of that, it would make you think that it goes this direction. But you could easily, because you can't even see that stem, you could turn it. Just be aware if there's a direction. So this is how I'm going to place, and I'm trying to decide if I like it like this. So look at your patterns and decide which way you want it to go. I think I'm going to leave it like that. And so what I do to place them, if you hold this down, and I'm just going to dry fit these on here so you can see what I'm talking about. So this goes like this, and then this one goes underneath it like this. And you have a mat of the black showing all the way around, along the sides, along the top, in between, and along the bottom. So you can see black all the way around the Pool Party pieces. So you want to think about that when you're gluing them down. So I'm going to start with this top piece, and what I do is I pick it up in the middle. So I have my fingers where the black piece ends, and I know that I don't want to glue any further this way. So I'm just going to put glue on the 1/2 and not go past my fingers, because I know that's where I need to stay to have this glued on and not glue my card shut. Okay, so I'm just going to move this just a slight bit, and I'm just going to press that down. And that's the first part of our panel. So then I'm just going to do the exact same thing for the bottom piece. I'm just going to hold it where the black ends and know that this is where I'm going to need to keep my glue. by doing that, you'll make sure that you don't glue your card shut. And so on the side that doesn't have the glue, I'm going to line that up first to get my spacing right. And then I'm just going to press down. Just like that. And the base of our card is done. We're down to just decorating now. So let me show you when I started the video, I said that the designer series paper will do the work for you. Let me show you, and of course I have scraps because I've been cutting it apart for this card. But let me bring in the designer series paper that this piece came from. So you can see it's got all these colors in it. Starts with a fresh freesia, goes into a purple and into the blue and then into the pool party. And so this is what I used to get my flowers. Now with the dies, this is the really cool thing. The paper is made so that this large die here will fit around this large flower. And just make sure, the only thing that tripped me up at first, so I want to point this out to you, around the bottom of this dark color, there's some light color. So make sure you take that into consideration when you're lining it up. Because there is a lighter part that goes around it, and you want to make sure to take that into consideration. Okay? And I can tell you the way I lined it up, there's how it goes. This one triangle here is this larger indent, and I lined that up first, and then I just turned it to where it fit perfectly around that flower. And then I also used this rose piece. This is the one I cut out of the purple. And the same thing, I just fit that around there, ran it through my die cut machine, instantly had a beautiful flower. And then I also cut out one of these leaf pieces and then one of these leaf pieces. And we're gonna put those together on our card. Now I already have them die cut just to save time in our video. So let me bring that stuff in. So here's my pieces. Here's my leaves and my two flowers that we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our sentiment on the top panel, and we're just going to center it, but I am using dimensionals. You wouldn't have to pop it up if you didn't want to, but I like the looks of it popped up. So I am going to go ahead and place some dimensionals. On this piece. I'm just using my Take Your Pick tool to peel the backings off. And then I'm just going to center this. And press that, just press it down. And we've got the top part done. So then I'm just going to come in with my flower, and I know that I want to put my flowers like this. And you can do as much as you want there, but I want to put my main flower on first, and I'm going to again use some dimensionals for this. And I'm just going to get that. I want it close to the center. I think right there looks good. Now this piece, I want it a little off of I want part of it on the pink flower and part of it off. So I'm going to put dimensionals on this side of it, and I'm going to put a glue dot right there because that will lift this up. But I don't want to lift that part up because I want it attached to the pink flower. So let me show you what I mean. So I know this side needs some dimension. So I'm going to come in with my dimensionals on this side. I got that one a little twisted. There we go. And then I'm going to come in with my glue dot. I'm just going to take a glue dot. And I'm going to just put this on the back of this part of the flower. And so then when I lay this down, just like that. Okay, now all we have to do is place our leaves and we've got it. So I'm just going to kind of fit these in. Yep, I like that right there. So I'm just going to put some glue on it. And I didn't go all the way to the top of the petals or on the leaves because I felt like if it popped, you know, if it lifted a little from the paper, I was fine with that on the ends. So I'm going to come in and just glue that down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. And there we have our crossover gatefold featuring the Hues of Happiness. Really simple, really neat, fun fold. It gives you a beautiful card to send to someone special for their birthday. Be sure to check out my blog, KarensCardsandMore.com, and you'll see all the dimensions, the card recipe to make this card, as well as be able to order any of the products you've seen. I also have a rewards program for the people that order from me. You can find out how to join my team. You can subscribe to my newsletter. A lot of good stuff on my blog. So be sure to check that out. And I look forward to crafting again with you soon.